Beautiful human being, welcome to another episode of Soul Speaks with Spack. In today's episode, we're going to be diving into 4 ways that you can level up as a man. And if you're lucky, I'm going to share a bonus tip at the end, so make sure to stick with me to not miss out on that. And do not worry, if you're a woman and you're listening to this is still going to be helpful for you, especially if you're in a relationship with a man and you want him to start leveling up and being the man that you know he's capable of being. Now, let's dive into the episode. The first way that you can level up as a man is by having a physical practice. And I cannot stress the importance of this enough. And this is not just for your external appearance to have muscles and to be in great shape, but this is more so for the internal experience as well. Your ability to handle discomfort within your body is what is going to help you level up as a man. And I want to explain how this works in just a moment. First of all, the practice that I love to use is calisthenics and bodyweight training. I use gymnastic rings, I practice handstands, pull-ups, chin-ups, dips, squats, muscle-ups, all of the good stuff. And the reason I love this is because it gets me out of my mind and it gets me into my body. It encourages me to be connected to my body. And so what I'm doing here is I'm building flexibility, mobility, and strength all at the same time. And I've been able to get in better shape than I've ever been in before. And this is for a dude that growing up spent so many hours in the gym lifting heavy weights, but I never felt like I could really get in shape. And this is because I was deeply disconnected from my body. So you could be using a physical practice and you could be training in the gym, but you could be completely disconnected from your body. So you have no mind-muscle connection. You're never really executing movements properly, and you're not actually growing and building muscle. So this is why it's important to slow down and tune in. And this is also going to carry over into your relationships. The more discomfort that you can handle in your body, the stronger you're going to be internally. The more grounded and present you can be with emotional discomfort. For example, if you're with a woman and she's upset and she's angry and she's frustrated, if you're weak internally as a man, if you're fragile, you're going to avoid that. You're going to shut down. You're going to withdraw. You're going to shame her. You're going to try and fix or solve her problem. You're going to try and change the way that she's feeling to make yourself comfortable because you're weak internally. So this is why the more intensity that you can handle in your physical body, the stronger, calmer, and more connected you will be. The safer of a space you will be for other people. The more people will be drawn to your own energy. So this is why it's incredibly important for you as a man to have a physical practice that helps you build strength and flexibility and confidence and certainty. And it also helps you handle more intensity in your physical body. So this is why when you're using a physical practice, being able to calm your body down through your breath is really important. And so this is why I practice nasal breathing when I'm training. Because when you're breathing through your nose, you're able to control your nervous system. You're able to calm and slow down your heart rate as well. And you're able to respond to life rather than being reactive. On the other hand, when you're breathing unconsciously, you're breathing in and out through your mouth, short and shallow into your chest, and you're in this heightened state. But when you take a step back and you slow things down and you breathe deeply in through your nose and you exhale fully, this is when you take your control back. This is when you step back into your power. And you can train yourself to get better at this through your physical practice. So whatever your physical practice is, whether it's martial arts, whether it's lifting weights in the gym, whether it's using bodyweight training, whether it's going for a run, practice nasal breathing, practice consciously breathing, practice tuning in and being more mindful of where your mind is and whether you can be in your body or not. So that's number 1. The second way to level up as a man is to develop emotional intelligence. And this is such a buzzwordy term that gets thrown around in the healing and personal development space. But for you as a man, the thing that is really important for you is to just understand what you're feeling and to understand what your partner is feeling, to be able to tune in to what she is feeling. And to not necessarily just hear the words that she is expressing and communicating, but to notice the feeling that is underneath the words that she is communicating. Is she angry? Is she frustrated? Is she sad? Is she feeling alone? Can you tune into that? The more that you can tune into that and hold space for that and support her through that, the more close and connected and safe she is going to feel with you as well. So emotional intelligence comes through you just slowing down and tuning in and understanding what you're feeling and having the courage to communicate that. And this doesn't mean that you need to be soft and weak and emotional and say that you're upsetting me and I'm angry and all of that stuff. but it's to acknowledge what you feel. If someone upsets you or frustrates you or triggers you, take ownership of that. Take accountability for that and get curious about that emotion that is coming up within you. What am I feeling right now? I'm feeling triggered. I'm feeling frustrated. I'm feeling upset. Take ownership of that. Own it. Understand it. Get curious about it. And if someone has overstepped a boundary, this is now an opportunity for you to communicate a boundary with them in a loving way. So for example, if your partner, if your woman has said that you're a dickhead and I hate when you do this and I hate when you do that, and you feel disrespected by the way that she's speaking to you, first of all, acknowledge what that has brought up within you. Acknowledge the feeling that is coming up within you. Even if you've got to take a walk, even if you've got to say, look, I need to take 5 minutes to get out and be with this because I'm feeling quite triggered now. Creating that space is really powerful. Rather than reacting and getting heightened and emotional, you taking that space to be with yourself, to understand what's coming up, and then to come back and communicate in a level-headed way, that is respectable. People love that. People trust in a man that is willing to communicate and be honest. And this is something that you must practice. So if, for example, your partner's triggered you, she's upset you, she's being disrespectful, take a moment to go and be with it. Come back and communicate in a direct, assertive, level-headed, and kind way. Hey, sweetheart, I understand you may be frustrated, but the way that you spoke to me before was unacceptable. It made me feel frustrated. It made me feel disrespected. And if in future you speak to me in that way, I'm going to remove myself from the situation to protect my own peace. How does that feel for you? What you've just done there is you've expressed honestly and authentically with your woman about how you felt when she disrespected you. You've set your intention for what's going to happen in future if she treats you that way. And then you've also taken the time to check in with her and ask if she's on board with that and ask how that feels for her. The more that you can practice this, the more she is going to respect you. The less she will be inclined to be chaotic and disrespectful and say hurtful things. She may still test your boundaries. She may still push you and see if you're really strong within your boundaries. But the more that you can communicate honestly, rather than repressing it and suppressing it and burying it and walking away and biting your tongue and being angry at her and feeling weak, the more that you can be honest and accountable and authentic and communicate and lead the way, the more powerful you become as a man. The third way you can level up as a man is through your decision making and your ability to choose a direction and trust in that direction. Most men spend so much time up here in their mind trying to figure out all of the options, and most men fear failure. Most men fear making the wrong or a bad decision, when in actual fact there's no such thing as a wrong or a bad decision. Within every decision you make, there is a lesson and a blessing that is going to equip you on your path to be the man that you're here to be. And what if every decision that you made as a man allowed you to develop more trust and confidence and clarity within yourself? What if you met the decisions that you have to make every single day through that lens, rather than this fear-based lens of, oh, am I going to make a bad decision? Am I going to be shamed or judged? No. If you start trusting in your ability to make a decision, and you trust in your gut, and you start choosing the one that feels right, choosing the one that you feel drawn towards, and trusting in that, and learning from that, and learning through the decision-making process, you're going to build your confidence. You're going to build your ability to make decisions. You're going to build your ability to set the direction and to trust in that direction. It is a practice. Making decisions is like building muscles in the gym. Practice, practice, practice. But again, the energy through which you make your decisions is the most important thing. If you're meeting your decision-making process through the lens of fear and is my girlfriend going to judge me? What are people going to think? What are people going to say? Am I going to fail? You've already lost the battle. If instead you focus on, okay, what are the options here? What are my options? And what do I feel most called towards right now? How does it feel in my body? If I make this decision, how does that feel? If I make that decision, how does that feel? And if you start focusing on what feels right for you, and you start making that decision and trusting in that decision, this is going to help you build up your decision-making abilities. If on the other hand, you're in this weak energy where you're pushing decision-making onto other people, and you're wanting your partner, you're wanting your woman to decide for you, you're handing over your power. You're playing the victim. You're not able to take accountability and responsibility, and therefore you're always going to be the victim of your circumstances. So I challenge you to start making decisions for yourself. To start trusting that within every decision you make, there's going to be a lesson and a blessing that is going to equip you on your path to be the strong, powerful man that you are here to be. That's number 3. Dial in your decision making and your ability to set the direction and trust in that direction. The 4th way that you can level up as a man is through community and a supportive brotherhood. For most of us men, we tend to lone wolf our way through life. We think that we're the only ones that are going through depression and loneliness and isolation and suicidal thoughts. We feel all alone with our pain. And this is a real experience, okay? I've been there before where I feel just completely alone. It feels like the world's out to get me. It feels like everyone's against me. It feels like no one understands me. But the truth is, there are millions of brothers out there, millions of other men out there right now that are going through exactly what you're going through. And you have the ability to lift them up, and they have the ability to lift you up. And we rise together, we're stronger together. So this is why I'm inviting and challenging you to find a supportive brotherhood, a community, men that you look up to, men that you want to surround yourself with. Get yourself in their corner, because there are men out there that will see more in you than you see in yourself. There are men out there that will call you forward in a loving way, not through the lens of judging and shaming and pointing the finger at you, but calling you forward to step into your true power as a man. There are men out there right now that would be willing to have you in their circle. But you've got to take that initiative. You've got to take that first step. You've got to be willing to break out of this lone wolf mentality and lean in and go after support. This for me was one of the most transformative things, if not the most transformative thing on my personal journey. I traveled over to Austin, Texas. I met the most incredible bunch of brothers, an incredible brotherhood that welcomed me in with open arms, like I was their long lost brother. And I felt seen and accepted for who I was in that moment. It was like my past and all of the old stories that I told myself didn't even matter anymore. They saw me for who I was. And this is incredibly powerful. This is incredibly healing. When men come together and support each other, there is so much power there. There is so much potential for growth in a positive way. And this is why the 4th way you can level up as a man is by having a supportive brotherhood and a community of men that really want to see you do well. And this can be in person, this can be online, this can be both. I have my own private men's community online. And if that's something that you feel drawn towards, if that's something that you want to explore, just reach out to me on Instagram. You can DM me the keyword brotherhood, and we can have a conversation to see if that could potentially be a good fit for you and where you're at on your journey. Now, I did say there was going to be a bonus tip, and I'm going to follow through with what I promised. So the 5th way, the bonus way that you can level up as a man is through taking radical responsibility and accountability. Understand that you are the creator of your life. Stepping into your full power means taking full responsibility for the direction of your life. So if up until this point you've played the victim role and you've pointed the finger at everyone outside of yourself and blamed them for why you're not where you think you're meant to be, I challenge you to start taking responsibility, to really own the fact that you are in the driver's seat. Life is not happening to you. Life is being created through you. You are not the victim. You are the creator. So I challenge you to take responsibility. Get clear on what your goals are. Get clear on what your North Star is. Where do you want to be in 12 months, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now? Clarify that. Get clear on that. And then create an action plan to get you to where you want to go. Establish what your values are. Get clear on what your values are, and then start making decisions that are aligned with those values. Take away the confusion and the mental clutter by getting clear on where you want to go and who you are as a person. Clarify your vision, your mission, your purpose, your goals, your North Star. Dial all of that in and surround yourself with people that are on a similar path. You must become the person that has already achieved the goals that you want to achieve. How can you push your attention, your focus, your awareness to being that person and acting as them in this present moment? This is where your power lies. This is a wrap for today's episode. Thank you for tuning in. I trust it's been incredibly helpful for you. As always, any questions or thoughts, drop them down below. If you know of someone that you feel could benefit from this episode, be a good friend and pass it forward. Thanks again for tuning in. Until the next episode, venture beyond limitation. Let's go.